Okay, so crochet. It's not as scary as it looks. That's this one, or the hooky one, as I've decided to call it. So first thing to know with crochet is that very helpfully the UK and the US have different terminology. So if you open a pattern, I imagine other countries do too, although I don't know the answer to that one, so you know, Google it, homework. So if you get a pattern, it will either have English terms or US terms, and so FYI, the US terms make more sense, which really bugs me, but there we go. So in the UK we have a chain stitch, which I will get to, and in the US it's also a chain stitch, and then we get slip stitches. Again, I'll get to it, don't you worry, which they've decided the abbreviation is that, which is fine. Same in the US. Now it gets really silly, and you'll see why it gets silly in just a second. So the UK now goes from your slip stitch straight to your double crochet, whereas in the US they call it a single crochet. Can you sense a theme? So there's like steps in between, but we'll just go with the very basic stitches for this very basic video. So in the UK you go from your double crochet, then you go to a treble crochet, and in the US you go from a single crochet to a double crochet, and then I'm looking at a web page because I don't want to get it wrong, and also because the UK one causes me confusion, which is, you know, hang on, I'm just chatting at you, looking at this. I mean, I could edit all this out. I'm not going to because I'm lazy. But here we go. So in the UK, we go from a treble to a double treble. Yeah. And the US goes from a double crochet to a treble crochet, which is much more straightforward. There are other stitches that half double, what's it, I don't know, tie knots. But that is the basics that we'll look at, and I'll show you how to do all of these things. But I'm going to use the US terminology because, quite frankly, we messed up here. So just be aware that some patterns that you see will have different terminology, and you can usually tell because in US patterns they don't talk about double treble crochets. They talk about, well, they do later on, but you can that's the one, it's the single crochet, because single crochet doesn't exist in UK, so it's always a little bit of a guessing game, but never mind. So how to do the actual stuff. I did tell you this was a rough and ready video. You're not getting any wheels and bells, whatever you want to call it. So starting crochet, you've got your yarn, you've got your hook. You need to make a little loop. So to do that, you've got, this is where the ball is. So you cross the tail end in front of that, and then see here, and then you grab it and you pull it through. I mean, there's probably like an official term for that. No idea what it is. I'm trying really hard not to swear because, you know, apparently you're not allowed to do that here. And then you just tighten it up to your hook. I am obviously right-handed, so the hook I'm holding in my right hand. There is in fact a couple of ways to hold a crochet hook, which isn't very helpful. I hold it like this. Some people hold it this way, I think it's fork or knife. Fork or, no, it's not, Sarah. It's knife or pen, something along those lines. You'll find out what works for you. Just by when you're holding the hook, one will feel really alien, like this feels very odd, and it looks more elegant, and I wish I could crochet like this, but I can't, so it won't work for me. Might work for you. This way works for me. So when you've got your slip stitch, with this hand, take your little finger, wrap it round like this, and then hold it, and then you've got it up here. So it's wrapped around your little finger, and it's wrapped around, I mean, I'm doing a medical course. I should know what this finger is called, but for the life of me, can't remember right now. This is because you need tension. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to do anything. So, tail goes out the way. Wrap that round once. Grab it like this, and then round like this. So it's something like that. And then what you need to do is you need to, they call it casting on and knitting. I think we'll call it chaining. So you need to chain to start your project or your swatch or whatever you want to call it. So no matter how you're holding your hook, so it sort of goes up and down, you hook it round, and then we're just going to chain, let's chain 15. 1, 2, don't get the wrong bit of yarn, 3. It's kind of weird looking at this through a YouTube can. I don't know why I'm looking through the phone screen. I could just look at it. That would make much more sense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Did we say 15? 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So what we're going to do to begin with is start off with single crochet, or if you want to be English and slightly odd, double crochet. So with single crochet, what we're going to do, let's actually put an extra stitch on here. We're going to go into this chain here, so not the one here that's right by the needle, but this one here, and single crochet. So you wrap around the needle once before you go through. You go through that hole there, you wrap it round. No, I'm lying to you. I'm lying to you. That is not how you do that. That, my friends, is a double crochet. All my crochet friends are like, Sarah, you're doing it wrong. But with crochet, it's not a problem because you can just pull back to wherever you want to be. So, single crochet. I don't do single crochets very often. So we miss that one, go into this one here without wrapping anything round, folks, for your single crochet. Go into the hole and then pull that yarn through. Okay, so then you have 2 hoops here, and then you just want to yarn over, it's called yarning over, all right, and pull through both. That's your first single crochet. And you keep going along your chains, so nothing, no looping round, into this next hole, in and along. Do you know, I'm going to be one of those really annoying people who doesn't like edit. I might edit it. I could edit it. I could try. So we're just going to go all the way through all of our little chain holes with a single crochet. And this is your starting round, or your starting strip, or whatever you want to call it. So again, into that little bit there. Now I'm not looking at the camera, so I've got no idea if this is in frame or not. You can tell me. Anyway, be nice to me. I've not done this before, and I'm really close to the microphone, so heavy breathing, you're just going to have to deal with it. So, is everyone enjoying lockdown? I sure am, she says. It's very odd being here alone. Keep going. odd to start like this because I usually start off with a circle. So now we've got back to the beginning. All right, so that starting hoop where you started is sort of tightened up, and then with crochet you just turn it round. So you just turn the work round, that twists around a bit, that's fine. What we will do to start off us, so what they'll talk about doing some chains, excuse me, as your first stitch, because you can't go back into this hole here without it looking a little bit odd. So I'm just going to chain 2, gonna chain 2, why not? So chain 2 whilst it's along here. Oh. And then twist your work, don't have to let go of anything, and then you single crochet along again. So now you've got stitches. Can you see here? So with this one, see these 2 lines here? That is a stitch. Okay, so when you're stitching back along, you need to go through those 2 loops. All right, so if you're looking at it this way, it's this gap here. All right, when you get on to fancier patterns, they ask you to go into either the back post or the front post, but let's not get into that sort of jazzy stuff yet. I might not even get that far. I might decide that this is a wholly waste of time and delete them all. We'll find out. Or I'll update them, or I'm not like breathing heavily into the camera. We'll see. I mean, it's not like I've got anything better to do. So these 2 chains here are your stitch for this bumpy bit here. All right, so the one that your last stitch, this one, nothing goes into it. All right, that's what your chains are for. So when you're going back along, we're doing single crochet back along. So you go in through, so you're going through those 2 pillars, posts. Can't remember what they're called. Hang on, sort my tension out. Come on, woman, sort your tension out. I can just hear my friends who crochet going, Sarah, what are you trying to teach him? It's all gone wrong. It's all gone wrong. So you go back along into that hole. So you've got those 2. I know there's a word for it. Can't remember what it is. Posts, I think they call it. So with single crochet in there, so you've got those 2 on, loop around, then yarn over through 2. Okay, in the hole, yarn over through 2. Okay, all the way back along, all the way back along. And what I would suggest before you start trying to do we'll do granny squares at some point because they're more fun and more interesting, but just sort of having a little practice, because you're not going to waste this yarn. You can pull it all apart, it's fine. Oh, I have a message. I've sent it to my my little group of the first one that I did. I sent it through to my uni friends, and I said, look, ha ha, isn't it terrible? So I shall get their feedback, constructive or not, and see if I'm going to send it out to the wider world. They're very supportive, so they'll be very nice about it. They're good chaps. You'd hope so, really, with the degree we're doing, wouldn't you? So I've just chatted through that. So we're going into the stitch one last time, all right? Then pull that yarn through, and then yarn over, okay? And through 2. And we've got to the end of the line. And that, my friends, is a row of single crochet. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you double crochet now, because we're here. Why not? So like I said, because we can't go into this last stitch here, I really hope you can see this. That would be a pain in the bum, wouldn't it? What we're going to do now is double crochet, all right? And double crochet is a little bit larger. So what we're going to do is we're going to chain 3 as that first stitch, all right? 1, 2. Oh, it probably can just be 2 actually. 2. I mean, I'm not a professional, guys, can you tell? Turn your work around, and as you can see, you've got those little stitches, so each one of these 2 is 1 stitch, all right, and you're going through that hole. So with double crochet, like I was trying to do earlier, oh god, it's 15 minutes. Good on you if you're still watching at 15 minutes. Jeez. So double crochet, before you go through your stitch, like with the single crochet, you wrap around, okay? So now you've got 2 loops on your hook. You skip the first one, you go into the second one, you pull through, and so then you have 3 loops on your hook, okay? Yarn over, pull through 2 of those hoops, okay? And then yarn over, pull through 2. And that is a double crochet, all right? And, or, if you want to be English, a treble crochet. But, for once, the Americans have something right. So, yarn over, through your stitch, okay? Got 3 on here. Yarn over, through 2, yarn over, through the last 2. Okay, so keep going along. Yarn over, through the hole, yarn back through. Okay, and this is why I'm gonna show off my crochet knowledge now. So this is why the English call it a treble, because you've got 3 things on here, all right? And why the US call it a double is because you're pulling through twice now. So 1, 2. Makes more sense. Keep going along. And then I promise this video will be over soon because it's been really long. And I'm not editing it because, you know, I need to make tea. Probably should have had lunch. Anyone else find that with lockdown, you're forgetting when to eat? Or is it just me? Could just be me. Keep going along. Keep going along. And again. Oh God, dropped it. See, not a problem. Just stick your hook back through. Keep going, and we've got, it looks a bit scraggly, but there is another stitch there, all right. So poke it on through. So now we've got a line, 2 lines of singles actually, because we have the start up. We've got a line of doubles. Oh gosh, I just thought I was going to burp on camera. That would have been really embarrassing. So now we're going to go back along with trebles, and then because we're at 18 minutes, I will stop then, go on to knitting. So we're going to chain for this first stitch, all right, because we don't go into that one. Just chain 3 again. Twist it round. Now with trebles, I tend to like put my finger on this stitch so it doesn't disappear on me, all right? And we're going to loop around twice, okay, before we go in. And then we're going to go into that stitch, yarn over, pull it back through, pull it through 2, pull it through 2, pull it through 2, all right? So again, hold on to that stitch so it doesn't disappear and run away from you. Okay, yarn over once, yarn over twice, go into the hole, yarn over again, pull it through 2, pull it through 2, pull it through 2. So this is the one that, US terminology, it's called treble because you're going once, twice, 3 times. And in the UK, they call it a half. I don't know what they call it. Hang on. They call it, helpfully, a triple treble. No, they call it a double treble. The UK call it a double treble. And I can't be bothered to figure out why. Probably because they used up the treble crochet on their double crochet. Isn't this confusing? So with American, this is a treble. All right. And in UK, it is a double treble. Can you see why I prefer US terminology now? It really grinds my guts that we couldn't get that right. Anyway, so in again. And there is another stitch here. That's where our chaining was, for that chaining stitch. Okay, so you just go through the whole hole. And that is 3 stitches. So if you want to finish off and keep that as a memento, because why wouldn't you? And I'll show you that again because I didn't show you. Snip off your yarn somewhere. These are not yarn scissors. I don't know where they are. So you've got your tail. You just yarn over and pull it through. Okay. And there you go. There you have it. There's your first, they call this swatch. So we did single crochet, double crochet, treble crochet. If you've got any questions, then give me a shout. And I'm sorry this was 22 minutes long. There we go. I'll do knitting next.